Introduction to Production, Session 3. In Session 2, we showed you how to create a beat using MIDI files. Now, we show you how to add music and other production tricks to a fat beat. We'll show you how to create effects and filters, how to use musical samples, how to create different bass sounds, and how to use Rex files. So let's get on with it. If you weren't with us in part 1, here's a quick recap of the last session. You will have seen importing and organising MIDI files in Cubase SX3, loading and saving kits in Battery 2. We also moved and copied cells, we loaded samples into cells, and we were tuning loops and took a good long look at the lo-fi section. Well, today we'll be looking at more advanced features, so I hope you are paying attention. First up, we're going to go to the bottom right of the Battery 2 interface. This section is called the volume envelope. Now, currently it's not activated because the on-off button is not depressed. If you look at the cell on our interface that's lit up, it's a ride, because we're going to show you how to use a ride for a drum and bass track. So let's just hear that, what we mean by ride. It's not the same as a crash, it's a bit softer and you can use it for more rhythmic stuff rather than just emphasis in a track. So back down to the volume envelope and let's switch on the buttons. Okay, now if you press the ride again with it switched on, oh no, we've lost the tail of the sample. So that's because the volume envelope has been switched on into effect and it's automatically shortened the sound. So let's look at what these buttons are. First up, A. A is for attack. That affects the front of the sound. If you put the attack up, it fades the sound in. It takes a while for the sound to hit sharp. If you have the attack low, you get full front of the note. Moving on to the H button, that is H for hold. This is how long the note remains at maximum volume for after you've hit the note on the keyboard. And then you can see the effect that has. And then moving on to the next button, it's called D for decay. This is how long it takes the note to fade away. So already we've made the ride sound more respectable. Now in the volume envelope there's more buttons which are hidden, and if you switch on this mode button, hey presto, we've got 2 more buttons that affect the volume envelope. S is for sustain. This is how long the note continues for, at what volume after the hold has stopped. So it's kind of like a sustain, and you can see when JC moves it up and down, while your finger is depressed on the keyboard, this sustain setting will dictate how loud it is. And moving on to the last button, it's R for release. When you take your finger off the keyboard note, this is how long the note takes to fade off into the distance. So that sounds like a pretty good ride to me, JC. For more information about the volume envelope section and the different modes within it, please refer to the notes available in PDF form that you downloaded with this tutorial. Right, now we're going to program the ride. The first thing to do is note that the ride is on C4. That's so you know where to play it. Now close battery. Create a new MIDI track by double clicking. Adding MIDI track, and connect this track to battery. So test the keyboard to see that it's working by depressing the C4 key. There it is. And then what we're going to do is click on the pre-count button on the transport bar because we're going to get ready to record. Before we do, let's just name the track. Check that it's cycling over the first 2 bars. That's what we're going to record. And reset it to 0. There we are. So we're ready now. What we're going to do is play a pattern on the offbeats because we want to drive the rhythm, and we know that playing in the offbeat is going to do that with this type of sound, a ride sound. It's got to be in your face and insistent, and that will help drive the rhythm. So first off, let's record it on the offbeats. And quick as a flash, there's your recording over and done with. Now we've got to go into edit. What we're going to do is put it all to maximum velocity, 127. So select all, select velocity, select this tool, and as you can see, by drawing the line across the top, it drags all the velocities of the notes up to the maximum. Okay, so now the velocities are all set to maximum. Let's listen to this in solo to check that there's no errors. Against the click, so you click the click on and click solo. Well, it doesn't sound altogether fantastic, does it? I wonder if you can see why. If you look at the second beat there, that's playing too early. There's only 3 blocks in front of it, whereas with all the others, there are 4. So why is that? Because we had auto quantize on. If you look at the quantize setting, it's actually set to 32s. So if the part was played slightly early or slightly late, the quantize might set it to the nearest 32 rather than the 8ths, which is what we want at the moment. So let's rectify that. Click and drag the errant beat to the right one so it's in the same pattern as the rest. Then listen again. Now it's all in time. So let's close the window. Take click off and close the window. And let's take solo off, reset the track to 0 and press play. It is there, but it's a little low. So go back to battery. So with open battery, they're going to shape the sound by adding saturation. Turn it up. Sounds much better. Okay, so there's the saturation, which has enriched the sound and made it a lot better. Close the interface of battery, and it's time to duplicate the part. We're going to click Apple and D for duplicate, and as you can see, it puts it across the arrangement. Now it's time to save the arrangement. So go up to the File menu, Save As. This is to save the Cubase song, obviously, so update it. It's a new version because you've done new things on it. And now we're going to save the battery kit. So same again, save as, and update the name of the file. If you look through, you can see the hierarchy where the online tutorials are. You'll have your own hierarchy. Here's our session 3 folder, but the battery kit is still called session 2 because we've not yet saved, so now we're going to update it. And it's part 2 of this tutorial. We're only saving the battery kit or the patch, not the samples. We'll do that at the end later on. It takes more memory to save the samples as well. And there you have it.